a comparison game is very tricky, very dirty, and typically can be your biggest distraction because you lose focus. And as an entrepreneur, your focus, your lack of focus will bury you before your competition.
Your lack of focus will bury you before your competition.
Will outperform you. People are scared that you as an agent who's competing against me, you're going to beat me. But if I'm not focused day to day because I'm thinking about you and all the other people, my lack of focus is what's going to outperform me. It's actually not you. It's my lack of focus because I can't control you.
Yeah.
I can control my level of distraction, my level of focus, my level of optimization. I can control that. And so I think lack of focus in general, I think is what buries most people before before their competition takes them out.
Have you implemented anything into your structure to help with focus?
The way that I structure my day in terms of activities, like work-related activities, is I don't just pin meetings in the diary for the sake of it. I used to be the yes person. Yep. Becomes really, really expensive. I'm very selective what I put in the diary. Like, for example, my accountant called me before this and I wanted to do nothing else this week because I'm going away on Saturday. I'm like, there's nothing else going in the diary this week at all. But my accountant called me before and said, hey, Ben, I want to run through your F23s and just talk through some strategy around tax and just like talk through some things. And I was like, hey, I'd like to do that before the end of the year. Like, that's important to me. Like, I want to take some time to hear what he has to say, make some decisions potentially over the break and think about it so I can come back next year prepared. So that went into the diary. And so I'm just selective what I put in there, who I meet with, right? And so what it does is when I see my day, for example, tomorrow, which I've already looked at, I'm kind of psyched to turn up to them. I'm like, fuck yeah. Like I saw there's 2 specific meetings that I looked at this morning for tomorrow. I'm like, sick. Like I'm amped for this. Like, because a lot of people, because they're yes people that I used to be like, there's so much garbage in the diary. You're just like, fuck. Like, oh my God. And then you get resentful with yourself, the person, because it's in there. But you got to take ownership and you're like, hey, you put it in there. The dinosaur didn't throw it in your diary. You can look at it through different lenses, but ultimately I think time management's important and quality of time and creating space when you can in your diary. Like Jeff Weiner from LinkedIn used to be the CEO. He was my favorite CEO, like favorite as a leader.
Jeff Weiner.
Yeah, you can look him up. Like just look, you can. He was remarkable, I thought, for me. Like very compassionate leader, super wise. Like if you hear him speak, you see what I mean, right? I think he was running 30,000 staff across the world. He was renowned for creating a lot of space in his diary. He hated meetings all day. And you can imagine, like, they're a public company, man. Like, people want to talk to that guy every second of the day. Like, not every minute, like every second, people want his time, right? Like shareholders or like senior management or whoever. Like, so, but he was renowned and ruthless. And he wrote a LinkedIn, you can find it on LinkedIn about his calendar. There's a piece on it where he talks about how he created a lot of space in his diary where there's no meetings in there because that allowed him to be creative, think strategically. He then got better results. I heard him talk about it as well. He said the more space he had in his diary, which went against the norm of a CEO of his caliber, the better results he got.
Yeah, wow.
Interesting. Eh?
Very interesting. It sounds similar to the Robin Sharma plan of you only really need 5 hours of effective focus output per day, and the rest you just want to be in a creative zone where you can allow space. This is something that I've experienced personally is I get better results, or when I allow my calendar to have space to, when you want to create space to allow new opportunities to come in, and then you have the ability to assess them without being in a state where you're consumed by the next task or outcome with the business, if that makes sense.
Kinda.
So when I create space in my calendar to chill out or what have you, it often gives it allows me then for when another opportunity comes to assess that opportunity and not be distracted by the 10 hours of work I've got in that day.
100%. Yeah, I understand. And I agree. I think it comes down to like presence, intense presence. Like if you're not, and I struggle with this as well, heaps. Like lately I've been so, like I lost my hat today, like, and I was just like, fuck, where did I put it? Like, can't remember. Must have lost it yesterday. I've lost the same hat before. So I put another one just because I'm just distracted mentally, right? Clearly like distracted. There's so many opportunities. Like the world's so opportunistic. Like that story I gave you about that guy who was basically broke and then started a company, and I think 3 or 4 years later was doing 600 million USD. There's so many opportunities that just are around us. But I think that some of us, not only we're not present, we're quite closed off. Because the security blanket, like I'm a buyer's agent and that's what I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And that's what I just think I need to be. And you're in a concrete jungle like that because that's what you have to do. You think you have to do that. Maybe because things are going remarkably well, or maybe you think that's your skill set. But then there's like a dude who's at the park who's got a dog who could be that next opportunity. That could be potentially your next co-founder, or that could have an idea that they want to discuss with you that then could be the biggest venture of your life as to maybe why you're actually born. Because I think that we're all put on this planet to serve in a certain way. Like we were all given certain talents, certain knowledge base, certain skill sets to deliver and perform, I believe, right? And so I think a lot of people, the reason why they're quite miserable, a big reason as to why people are so unhappy is because they're not living their life with purpose, with what they're, so you're either sleeping for the majority of your life or working, both, doing both, right? Comprising. So I think if you're sleeping, right? You should be restful. And if you're not sleeping and you're working, if you're not like super inspired, like super inspired by what you're doing and not solving big problems and like super passionate, there's a high chance you're not going to be happy. And there's a high chance you weren't put on this planet to do that. Like there's a high chance you weren't supposed to do that. And so I think when it's out of alignment, it causes a lot of problems. Like, you know, you just want to like buy shit potentially to make yourself happy, spend money on shit. But then you spend it and then you're happy with the dopamine for like 10 minutes or a day or a week, and then you're unhappy again. So getting to my point is that if you are present and open to receive these new ideas and potentially look at different opportunities, there could be something massive like that's just next to you. I think that all comes down to awareness, just like about being aware that, hey, there might be a better opportunity for you, and maybe don't close yourself off to just what you're doing. Oh no, that's just a perspective that I've got because I'm very open like that. Like I'm always, like I'm not a very social guy. So I don't talk to a lot of people. I'm very, very private, very reserved, very, very reserved. But I'm very aware that, hey, like there could be someone around me that's going to bring something to life for me, or that I may want to participate in, or that may spark my interest. So I'm always very curious, super curious around people and what they're doing and why they're doing it and their viewpoints on things.